Okay. Best night of the year. Yeah. All right, so the first couple of years, the punishment was only 5 minutes long. Way too short. They got off easy. We had a couple comedians that tried, as you'll see in the montage later, but one is just finishing up his time. He's got 15 to 40 seconds left, but give it up for TB Tyler Bear.
All right, thank you all for being here. We got some familiar faces in the house. One person has been to, I believe, all 4 versions of this. Next year, we'll make sure to get him a 5-year jacket. Thank you. But no, some might say this is a harsh penalty. You have to do stand-up comedy for losing your fantasy football league. Some owners even think it's so harsh that they have even sold their team to private equity to try to reduce the punishment. And another version even tried to leave the country in an effort to avoid doing the punishment. But look, I think Jack's going to do great tonight. He was a born comedian. How do I know that? It starts with the way he used to eat pizza. And if you want more information, you can follow up with Julie. Our next comedian will be Max.
Yeah!
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I could have missed this. It's the one time a year where people that grew up knowing me actually remember that I exist. You know, I can only imagine that, when someone, from high school were to see me walking down the street, it's like a cryptid sighting. It's like Max, he's real. I didn't just like Mandela. I didn't like Mandela effect him into my mind. He's not. He isn't just some NPC that I hallucinated. No, he's real. But I guess I can't really say I'm surprised. And you were talking about someone whose peak of his high school career was the day Alana Levy said yes to being my lab partner in Mr. Van's class. But I'm still writing about that 8 years later. Yeah. But I don't know, seriously, shout out to Mr. Van, really great teacher. To this day, I have no fucking idea why he vanished for a few months with literally zero explanation. I don't know, they can't complain too much because the substitute was pretty hot, but but seriously, on a somewhat later note, what the fuck was stoichiometry? That's not real, okay? It's not real. No one has ever used that. No one ever will use that. I'm convinced that whoever made that thing up was just trying to fuck with everyone. You cannot convince me there was any practical application for stoichiometry. Okay, my fraternity was full of fucking engineers, chemical engineering majors. They never mentioned that shit. It is not real. They pranked us. Remember in high school, fucking duped you. But anyway, in terms of teachers, I'm gonna say I had a pretty good, overall I had a pretty good track record with teachers in terms of them liking me. There was one exception, Miss Siegel. That bitch hated me. She fucking hated me. I distinctly remember her saying her announcing homework at the last second, and I mumbled just very really. I was like, oh great, and she turns are you done being obnoxious? I've heard the entire class. And then during I made an idiot out of myself when she was giving out those end of year awards, and I was I didn't think I was gonna get one. And then she got really pissed off. She sent this email saying how it was rude and disrespectful. And it's okay, well, I'm sorry that you took this so seriously, but I know that you probably wanted to make it as an author and couldn't. So this site, so you know what? But if you're gonna take it out of me, whatever, fine. And so God, how are we all almost 25 years old. I can't really, I still kind of see myself as a kid in my head. I can't really comprehend that. And now we have, the generation coming after us. And it's funny because you think that like you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm not going to be like, the boomers. I'm not going to be like the older generation who just constantly craps on the younger ones and, thinks, oh, things are so much better. And yet I can't help but think that it's actually true this time. I mean, like, considering, like, looking at, the Gen Alpha crowd, the ones who were born into things like iPhones and whatever, like, and think about, like, when we grew up, it was the early 2000s, we knew what it was like to be without smart devices. We remember VHSs, we remember ever having to actually, like, watch an episode of TV live. And you look at, like, what the kids now are growing up with, it feels like we're the last, like, it feels like that we were, like, it almost feels like being the last one on the chopper out of Vietnam. Because, like, I mean, when you think about it, like, imagine being given this thing when you're 3. And then I got my first iTouch, and I got an iPhone, and I touched. Remember those? When I was, like, 10 years old. And, like, and the fact that, like, to think that if I had been born just, like, 10 years, I'm not done yet. The fact that if I had been born like 10 years later, that I might have been, sucked down the alt-right pipeline. I mean, I don't know. It kind of messes with you. What else? Let's see. I don't know. I see a lot of my old trick-or-treating buddies in the audience here. I have some good memories there. It's funny. It's like, so, like in 5th grade, I had this brilliant idea to dress up as, so it was 2011, so like Steve Jobs had just died, so I was like to my parents, hey, I want to be zombie Steve Jobs for Halloween. I am not kidding. I was like, I should be like the ghost of Steve Jobs. Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious? A guy who just died. And my parents they eventually talked me down to Rainbow Steve Jobs. I was like, oh man, that kind of ruins it, but whatever.
1 minute.
I mean, alright, okay. But I feel like if there's any proof that I was the world's most obvious undiagnosed special needs kid, like that was it. But anyway, I guess I'm running out of time, so I hope you remember I exist next year. I had more notes. I guess for next year.
Okay.
Yeah, what are we watching?
Excellent intro for this, or MC?
Yeah, tell them what it is.
What do
What
I
is it?
talking about? And also Austin's classic finesse.
Someone want to see it? Just want to see it.
It's so good. Yeah, you just
Allison Clark. With the 3 years of jokes all together tonight.
The poor guys at Scotty's, by the way, they must be freaking out right now. Like, it's about that time of year when these guys want to be in the fantasy football That place is the Grand Western for sure, ass. Jesus Christ. There are definitely some weird people out I'm talking about Saints like I should use the prop. This
is actually crazy.
When the guy who was up in good laws, he came up here talking about he's going to put on his resume.
This is a fantastic thing to put on the resume. That has to be the most favorite show those characters of all time. Actually, as I'm letting you know right now, that is the only reason I'm doing this right now. I'm just trying to make sure Bank of America gives me a second look. So,
I'm not going to talk about it yet. So once I was going to do this, and
everyone in my life, important to those
people give me plenty of ideas what to talk about. But for everybody who's giving me one, all your ideas suck.
guys, sir.
Did you really think that on the day of Thanksgiving that I was going to stay in and sleep and not trip for a big game? I'll be at the high school in 5 minutes. Stop asking dumb questions.
Some people think it's really cool, like they must be like impressing their bosses or something. Like they'll come up and they're walking the hallway, and trust me, they want to use this thing. They'll walk over to like the boss and they go, here you go. They'll be like, excuse me. Like, they just tell me that. I got to molest the country for the whole place. Cool.
Realize that I'm just watching Key and Peele clips. I'll try to be a comedian here, right?
I don't know, maybe I'm the asshole for not saying anything, but like, at least, I mean, someone's got to tell these guys, so it's
What's my mom and I?
Live it up for mom and dad.
My mom thinks this is all going down tomorrow night. So Scotty, let her know,
And they always taught me to open the door for everyone to be respectful, which I do. But these people don't do be respectful. They want to hold the fucking door for you. And they don't just do it. Like, get out of my way, hold that fucking door for you. Which you have to oblige. You have time to do it. You have to.
I think I found the one thing that we all agree on, and everybody has the same reaction when it happens. It's the waiter doesn't like that. Everybody has the same reaction when they walk away.
You know, do the obligatory.
I don't like that. And I still understand the outside. Even if they get it all right, they remember he didn't want a gluten-free bun and he wanted no pickles. On the car home, we really saying that waiter was great. He didn't write down the order and he got it all right.
You know, I'll say that people aren't really impressed anymore about like what kind of restaurants have good food at this point. That's not what really impresses people. It's, you know, what kind of circus or charade we got going on for tables. It's like, you know, 200 years ago we were impressed with like technological innovation, science, and all that kind of stuff. But nowadays we're just impressed with like who's gonna open their steak in like a briefcase with smoke on it. I'll give you an example. For example, raise your hand if you know who David Baltimore is. And the answer is going to be fucking don't know who David Baltimore is. David Baltimore is the guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize a couple years ago for discovering reverse transcriptase, which means you can synthesize DNA in RNA. That's fucking incredible. That's awesome. That's fucking genome mapping. But yet all we care about is the fucking salt papers taking more stuff up your ass. Poor fucking Sir Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton are sitting up there rolling in their graves, going, fill up ready, love. Fucking just really care about this.
And the most one really advanced is the t-shirt toss. Sometimes you see those machines that look like they can get to the upper deck, but they never do. And then when you're close, you think, oh, we got a chance, but you got the guys throwing their kind of show up their can of arms. But then when you're in the row 40, where you think, oh, I'm gonna get the guy who can throw deep, you get the woman throwing, who's just trying to make it on the off the court.
Let's see if you're right. That's good. No, it's good. Like I said, living this is fun. Is anyone dating? Clap your hands if you're dating. I know a lot of these guys up front aren't dating. Yeah, I've been dating a girl for over a year now, and it's going awesome. Yeah, no, she's smart, she's beautiful, she's funny, she's awesome. She was the same last name. Who said that? Someone said, no, we do. We have the same last name.
You know, like, there's another type of person I just don't understand. It's the person who goes on TSA 3 and goes to the airport with flip-flops on. Yeah. That's like taking a shit in your bath and then saying, like, I'm going to take a bath today. If you really do it.
I would just say, don't do fancy football or you'll find yourself in a shitty situation. Am I right? Thank you.
Diamonds in the
All right. Gosh. Thank you for the openers. Those are tough to beat. T, thank you. Max, thank you. And appreciate that montage. That was fantastic. I have seen plenty of stand-ups in my life. Some very good ones and some not so great ones. And I'm always left in awe. Just with the lingering question of what the fuck happened in this person's life that led to them getting up on stage and just embarrassing themselves in front of everybody. What the fuck? I mean, what an idiot! And then a couple of years pass and time goes by and you are then that idiot. So, very excited to be here with you all tonight. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm in sales. And one of the first things... Yep. There you go. Gosh. And one of the first things you're taught in sales is whenever you're leading a meeting, or in this case a seminar, is to set an agenda for the day. What are we going to talk about here? I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to talk through my year, 2025, because it's been an interesting one. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good takeaways. So my year started in January, shocker. More specifically, dry January. And I came, I don't know if I like the light.
Keep on.
Just picture them all naked. And I came to, I met all of these people who were also taking part in dry January. You may have met these people who decide that they're going sober for X amount of time, or really any just life event, right? They're running a marathon, they're quitting drugs, whatever they're doing. And they make it their whole fucking personality, right? The worst kinds of people, right? They're cutting a salad, you got your carrots, your onions, that's your personality. That's the way I like my salad. And then they just decide to take, I'm doing dry January, and throw it in a fucking bucket. I fucking hate it. So naturally I became that person. And I go to work one day, and I'm letting everyone on planet Earth know that I'm dry, because I'm dry. And I'm about 15 days clean, because again, I'm dry. And I'm speaking to whoever I'm speaking to, and I go, hey, I'm 15 days sober, like dick on table, I'm pumped, like I'm dry. And I remember she looks at me and she goes, oh, that's great. I'm actually 15 days sober too. And I'm like, wow, what made you want to do dry January? She's like, what do you mean I'm not doing dry January? What the fuck does that mean? You didn't sign up for dry January and take 15 days? What the fuck does that mean? And so I realized I was an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. All right, so what else happened this year? I killed my dog. Yeah, I did. I know. I'm not done. And by I mean we. My family's here tonight. Mom, Dad, hug. Yeah. It's a weird fucking thing to clap to. All right. Fuck your dog. God. Man, I didn't speak for years. So yeah, my family, the four of us, we stood in a little box, a hot box, and we cried as our best friend of 14 years got put down. It fucking sucked.
And I remember the doctor comes in and he had this nauseatingly soothing voice. I wanted to fucking yak to begin with, and this fucker walks in the room. I'm so sorry for your loss. Like, worse. I wanted to cry. So sorry for your loss. And I just want to let you know, we're going to take a little lock of his hair, and we're going to send it to you. And in the moment, I remember my dad's like, oh, thank you so much, that's beautiful. And for those of you who don't know my dad, I mean, he was a fucking nut with this shit. I mean, we have a shrine of Oakley's fur and his ashes, and he prays to it like fucking Allah every day. And then the doctor goes, we're gonna take some of his ashes and we're gonna put it in a box, and we're gonna send it to you guys as well. And we go, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then he takes a deep breath and he looks us in the eyes and he goes, and just on your way out, if you could just tell the receptionist credit or debit, that would be good. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. But Oakley taught me a beautiful lesson. Little story on Oakley. He was a beautiful creature. I mean, he loved everybody. If you walked into the Paris household, came in, he gave you some licks. If you didn't want licks, he gave you more licks. This guy was the fucking best. Best personality, ladies loved him. He was fantastic. And he had one flaw, and that flaw was he ate his shit. He did. He ate his shit. Which grossed me the fuck out, but we learned to love it. And I remember we had this moment, this centristic moment. I can't think of a word, it was so beautiful. And I remember it, like casual routine, I put him in the backyard, I shut the door, I walk away, I go to make a sandwich or whatever. And I come back, and I see him dropping feces. And he turns around and he takes his beak and he shoves it into the floor. He's just gnawing at it. I'm about to yak, Oakley! What the fuck are you doing? And I remember his head pops up like a gazelle. And he looks at me with these eyes. And we had a moment. He was like, Jack, this is the second best part of my day. I go on a walk and I eat my shit. Let me be. And I never argued with him again. Because we all eat our shit sometimes, right? I mean, come on. Maybe not literally, but sort of. One more Oak story, just to wrap that one up. That's an awkward topic, right? But more with a dog, no one knows how to react. I mean, what's too much, what's too little. And you could really tell who's had a pet based on the way people approach it, right? One group's like, dude, I'm so sorry, that sucks. Your dog's part of your family, I'm so sorry. And the other half's like, dude, that sucks. Like, when are you getting a new one? What the fuck do you mean with it? He's not an Xbox. No, fuck. So that's my episode. It's also my most morbid topic of the night, I promise. I had an affair this year. I did. Right. Oh boy, had an affair. And before you guys started asking questions, yes, she was hot. And before my mom neuters me, it was not with a person, it was actually with a company. Cheated on my company with my company. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I would say there's a lot of similarities between the two, right? I mean, it starts light scrolling on social media, LinkedIn. You get your outreach, hey, we think you'd be really good at this for this. It's enticing. And then things started to heat up a little bit, right? I mean, at first they're just like, hey, we want to buy you lunch every day. Fuck, that's kind of hot. But then they took it a step further, like, and we want you to come into our office 5 days a week. What the fuck does that mean? I'm so sorry. Had to go for one. So yeah, I changed up my company. That was fantastic. I would say there's a lot of similarities starting a new job, though, right? First thing they want you to do is like give a fun fact, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever. Give a fun fact. What fun fact can I give you that's gonna kind of, hey, nice to meet you. You gotta keep it PG, right? Like, oh, look, I like Marvel movies. Hey Ben, I like Marvel movies. Nice to meet you. Cheers. Cheers to that. They're like, hey, can you give us one more fun fact? It's like, fuck, I'm out of PG ones. I once spent $200 on tequila shots and walked into my lobby dick out naked. Fuck. It was $150. Sorry. So yeah, that was my year. I guess to sum it up, I realized I was an alcoholic. I killed my dog, and I had an affair. How am I going to spend the rest of it? Dominating my fantasy league, because I will not be up here next year. Thank you. No, but by the way, Caleb and Xander set this whole thing up. They know you got $75. They're also single. Please give them your numbers.
Does anyone else? We have this place until 8:30. I don't know.
Everyone just wants
That's enough. But I do want to thank JP. He was a great sport. We told him there were a lot of surprises coming, specifically from his mother, Julie. None of which happened because she respected his thing here. So,
I did.
thank you
I thought it
folks
was
for
a
Jersey for tuning in.
That was great, JP.
We're gonna go around the order. JP, what's the bar?
What?
The bar.
The bar.
Nearby.
Ah, there's 2 bars around the corner. You leave, you go to the left. Let's go to one of them, have a drink, no pressure. Have some shots. JP.
That's awesome. TV!